The reason it was so noisy the other day is that we're on a diversion route. They're resurfacing the road, the top road. There's two roads, and the main road um, at the top goes from Poitiers, Chauvigny, Saint-Savin, Leblanc, and beyond to the east, wherever. They're resurfacing the road between Saint-Savin and Chauvigny, so stuff's being diverted up here. It's quiet at the moment, and I'm wondering whether it was just for a couple of days. I can't remember now. Um, but that's why it was so noisy. Well, apart from the direction of the wind, that's why it was so noisy. I couldn't understand. We sat here yesterday afternoon with our neighbour, and we'd got there was a harvester out in the field beyond. I think the sunflowers were being harvested. Um, so that was noisy, and then we'd got the noise of the road. It was like living in a blood. Well, it wasn't like living in a city, but it was noisy. So it's quiet. It's just before 10 o'clock. I've just let the chickens out properly. They've had access to the other run because the weather's warmed up again. I started closing them in again because it had got a bit cold, and I think when the weather gets cold, you're more likely to. There's a potential for predators, so I started making them more secure. But I left it open last night, so they had access to come out um, to the other bit of the run. So they're out now, out, free ranging. Um, we picked up the new car yesterday, um, so that was intriguing. And Mark drove. I haven't driven it. Mark drove it home, and it was a bit of a struggle to begin with because it's unfamiliar, and it's automatic. Well, I think it's semi-automatic, so I think you could drive it if you wanted to, but I don't see the point really. I like I will miss not having the a gear changey thing. That's how I've driven all my life, and I'll miss that. But at the same time, we did drive a car when we drove through the Rockies in Canada. We were driving a automatic, and we got used to it, and it was easy. So we've got Art this afternoon, so I'll drive it to Art. So I get the better deal in some ways because he had to drive through the city, which isn't nice in an unfamiliar car. I'm feeling hungover today, and I'm not sure why. Actually, I have an inkling that it could be. I mean, one, I had a really poor night the night before yesterday. Um, didn't really sleep well overnight and was up at 5:30, so that might be it. But we also refueled after getting the car. We refueled at KFC. Haven't done that for months and months and months and months. Mark hates it, but sometimes it's like, I think I get stuck in um, this place if I've got to provide gourmet meals every day or healthy meals every day, and I do a lot of that. But sometimes it's just a case of refueling, and yesterday was one of those days. So we refueled at KFC, and it could be partly be to do with that I'm feeling hungover because I would have had quite a lot of um, things that I don't normally have, all the additives that I don't normally have, and whatever. So it could be that. I had a better night last night. I was still awake earlier than I'd like to be, but I did have a better night. So that was good. I also implemented the plan I had how many years ago, months ago, July before last. So July, August, September, another 2 months. So 20 months ago, we were in the UK, and I was planning to buy myself an iMac. And I'd already got plans to go into Canterbury. I knew where the shop was, and I was going to buy one and bring it back. And at the last minute, my sister gave me an iMac, an older iMac that they were getting rid of anyway. And she said they're not really worth much money. You can have it, which was like, oh wow. So I bought that home, and I've been using it ever since. So for 20 months. But the Bluetooth doesn't work very well. I couldn't get couldn't get the keyboard that came with it to work with it. I couldn't get the mouse to work with it. I couldn't use it for FaceTime or Zooming or anything like that because the camera wouldn't work, the mic would. In fact, I did lots of things and it wouldn't work. It works for me for surfing, and it worked. Uh, yeah, so it worked for surfing, but and I'm sure if I used it properly, like some people use it for projects, they use it for editing and lots of other things. I'm sure that would have worked, but it it didn't do the things I wanted it to do, and I bought a new one yesterday. Um, yeah, bought a new one, and took me a while to. I was so tired when we got home that I didn't undo it because I said I can't undo it. I want to do it when I'm going to enjoy undoing it and unpacking it, not just unpacking it. So it was yesterday evening um, that I unpacked it. A massive box, really, really well packaged, really, really heavy. Opened it all up and took the iMac out, which is lovely, and but quite light in comparison to the weight of the box. And you get the iMac keyboard, mouse, and a pluggy in thing that has a name, um, and a charging cable. Um, so I got all that out, and this box was just like, I said to Mark, there must be other stuff in here. It's ridiculous, but there isn't. So I packed the box away this morning, put it all back together. I said to Mark, because it's not something you can just take and dump at the déchetterie. It's beautiful packaging. It's typical of bloody Apple. Beautiful packaging. So I said to him, I think we'll put this in the middle bedroom for now. So I lifted the box off the table, and it was almost as heavy as it was when it had contents. Massive. Anyway, that's gone. So it's really lovely, and I tested it out on my kids. So I've spoken to both of them on not for FaceTime, in Messenger last night. It works really well. I'm really happy with it, because when I've been talking to people on Messenger, I've been using my tablet, and when we will talk to people, the picture of us on the video sort of obliterates a quarter of the screen on my tablet, and that's not very big. So I'm having to work hard to focus on the people we're talking to. So talking to them last night, it's just a small area that's got me in it in the top left hand corner, and the rest of it is a big screen of the person I want to talk to. I'm really pleased about that. So that's working. Trying to work out how to clean off everything from the old Mac, but can't ever remember my passwords to get into your Apple ID, and I've got two now because I've got one for the new Mac and one for the other Mac, and I need to work that out, and I've got them written down, and even the ones I've written down don't seem to be working. That is the story of my life. And then I need to work out what to do with the old one, and there's someone that I think I might give it to, and I need to check first whether it's not going to be. I don't want them to feel that they owe me. I really want them to have it because she's got three children, and I think that it may three school age children, and I think it may be really useful for them, and I don't think they're particularly well off. So I'd like them to have it, but I don't want her to feel, what's the word? Can't think what the word is, but I don't want her to feel that she owes me. There is a word, and I'm not going to say the words in my head because it might be wrong. So yes, I did. I bought it, and back 20 months ago, had I bought one, I would have done an unboxing video. But I thought I'm not going to do that because there's no need. But I'm really pleased with it, and oh, apart from, and I forgot, apart from the keyboard, the keyboards in France are not QWERTY, they're AZERTY. So the keyboard is very different. It's not completely different because I've been messaging somebody this morning, and quite a lot of what I want to write, I can write as speedily, but where the A would be on a QWERTY board is a Q. So I keep getting a Q instead of an A. Where the numbers are along the top, the numbers aren't the dominant, aren't the default. It's the accents and exclamation marks and things that are the default, which is weird because on a QWERTY board, the numbers are the default. Finding the full stop was difficult because they don't. A lot of stuff in France is well, they don't use it quite as much as we do. Why do I say that? It's like when we're writing £23.96, it's 23.96. But here, when you're writing 23.96, it's 23,96. So the comma is quite dominant, and I had to work hard to find the full stop. I'm sure I get used to it, but it's like I'd completely forgotten, which was why I was going to bring one back from the UK because it would give me the QWERTY keyboard. Now, I have QWERTY keyboards here. I have more fucking keyboards here than the shops. I tried to use my QWERTY keyboard, but it wouldn't find it. The Bluetooth wouldn't find it. I'm going to try again. Cockroaches are distracting me. Be quiet a minute. I'm busy. I'm really tired. I shouldn't be. I feel really knocked off. So yeah, I've got plenty of QWERTY keyboards, but the thing is, the Mac that I've bought is a colour. It's blue, and the mouse is blue, and the keyboard is blue, and it's all pretty. Although you can't see it very well, it's quite a pale blue. So I will try any other keyboards I've got and see if I can get one to connect today. If not, I will just have to persevere with the A30. But it is difficult. Yeah. Having spent years, I mean, what am I, 68, and having been using keyboards since I was probably about 15, it's a long time, to be used to QWERTY and then have to shift to A30. And I've been here 16 years. A lot of people made that shift anyway, but I didn't. I hung on to my QWERTY, but I'm going to have to let go, I think. So yeah, we did that yesterday. So we were really tired yesterday when we got back. Mark's really pleased with the car. He spent a lot of time fiddling around with it. And as I say, I'm going to drive it later. I'm sure it'll be fine. It's just getting used to it. It's slightly different size-wise. It's a little bigger. It's not massively bigger. It's got like a big nose on it, which looks different to how the Touran looked. It's a Tiguan, for those that are wondering what it is. I have written in comments, I think, or mentioned it before. And it's silver, and I've got to learn a whole new registration number. So that's that. So yeah, haven't got a cook today. I did a pasta bake the other day, which was a double, so I'm going to reheat that later. I haven't got to make any bread at the moment. The spelt bread did not go well. It's very dense. I've been watching YouTube's spelt flour is different and will need different ingredients, and I've got to work get my head around that because I followed the instructions for wheat flour, not knowing that I'm following the instructions for wheat flour, but followed the instructions for wheat flour, and the hydration is different for spelt, and spelt apparently doesn't respond as vigorously to the starter. So it's like it doesn't really prove as well as wheat flour. So that's going against me. And what also is going against me is I think I've begun adding spelt to the starter. So the starter itself is going to have a low level of growth on it because it's got spelt flour in it. I'm tempted when I'm next in a shop to buy a couple of kilos of wheat flour and mix it in because I've got this bought 5 kilos of the spelt, so I've got to use it, but I've got room in my big pan that I'm holding it in, my big flour tin, to probably put another couple of kilos in and mix it through, and that might help it a bit. My eyes are really doing my head in. I've put drops in my eyes an hour ago or more. Normally they are much better once I've done that, but today they're not. apart from that, everything's fine. Don't know who that is up there. I've heard the robin around, and I saw it just now up on the gatepost. And I heard it. I was in the kitchen the other day, and I could hear it out the front. So it's that time of year when the robin's about. But I don't know who that was up there making those noises. Not very good. Not very good with bird noises, me. I think all our swallows, all our hirondelle have gone. I didn't really notice them go, but when we had that cooler weather, they would have gone. Yeah. But it's warm. Yesterday was 28. Today's going to be 26. I've got boots and socks on because my right foot has been playing up, and I'm meant to have an insert. I've got an insert in my boots, and I haven't worn that for ages. I've been in Crocs all summer, and so I thought I'd better put my boot back on. That might help because I've been limping for a couple of weeks. Oh, I'm all aches and pains and moany now. Oh well, whatever. That's life. Okay, so that's the update from here. Thank you for your comments. Thanks for those who have said pleased about your throat. Me too. And whatever else you've commented. And I'm sorry, I'm tired. I can't remember now. But thank you always for your comments. And if you haven't already subscribed and you want to hear a moaning old woman in France, then subscribe. Okay, see you later.